Welcome to AfricaCom Television. We are at Africa Tech, an event of AfricaCom, where we are accelerating digital enterprise transformation in Africa. And we're starting at Sqwidnet, and I'm joined by the Managing Director, Phathizwe Malinga. Good morning and welcome to AfricaCom and Africa Tech.
Thank you very much, Africa. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Let's start with the obvious question. What is the Internet of Things?
The Internet of Things is, I suppose, exactly that. It is connecting things to the Internet, much like you and I are connected via cell phone. But what isn't connected in today's day and age? So I think about physical things. It's now connecting that last frontier. And for us, in terms of business, that's assets.
Why does it matter then for businesses, and why should there be a visibility of these assets?
I think I usually like to say it's about decisions and making better decisions. The more information that you have about either your business and how it's running, or your customers and how they're experiencing your product, the better decisions you can make in terms of improving your products and services. So the more things that you can connect out in the field, the better decisions that you can make. And in today's day and age, we can't afford to fail many times. We can still afford to fail once, but not 3 or 4 times.
Definitely not. Tell me about low power networks.
Low power networks. Well, once we start connecting these things that aren't connected today, we're generally looking at assets that are no longer in your building, that are no longer within somewhere where you have traditional Wi-Fi. So we're starting to get out into the field. We're connecting things like cows. We're connecting things like vehicles, like fences. And most of these things, unlike me and you, aren't good at recharging their devices. So we want to get a battery life that can last and we can measure in years or even decades.
I know that you have a very close relationship with the French-based company Sigfox. Is that the only option to use, or are there many other options one could consider?
I like to say there is many options. We are very complementary, and it depends what you're trying to do as a business and what type of decision you're trying to make. I usually use the analogy of a bakery, and I say in a bakery you've got croissants and you've got fancy breads like paninis. We're the brown bread in the bakery. You know, we're absolutely essential to your diet, but we're not very fancy.
And how many aspects, I suppose, are there to the Internet of Things?
When we try and connect it, there's a lot of call it legs that we want to get to get that data to ourselves. And I try and simplify it, and I usually say IoT is as simple as A, B, C, D.
Okay.
You know, so if you are just a normal mere mortal consumer,
which I am.
Yes, absolutely. You want an app where you can look at the information about your asset. You want to store this in the back end, which is in the cloud. You want some kind of wireless connectivity to get the information from your asset. And then you want a device that you can attach to your asset, or a sensor where you can set the conditions that you feel either make you fail or flourish as a business.
Key, of course, to this year's theme for AfricaCom and Africa Tech is that enterprise digital transformation on an African context. Here I'm thinking SMEs, mere mortals who don't have a lot of money. How much does your service product cost, and will I be able to afford it?
Yeah, anyone can afford our service. It is ridiculously cheap. But again, when we put together that ABCD beyond just what we supply, which is connectivity, you still want it to be affordable. When we look at these SMEs, even though they are small, we want it to be that they make the kind of decisions that create as much job creation as possible, that alleviates poverty. So I believe we're well suited to the SMEs, not just from a cost point of view, but also the people that they are servicing. Because like they always say, Africa is for all who live in it. Mm-hmm. We need to get to the rural areas, and we need to get to people that are moving assets from towns into those rural areas, always having coverage. And so we are very well suited. We are the brown bread of SMEs as well.
And is that going to be the essence of your talk? You are on the program, of course, for this year's AfricaCom.
Yes, we are. It is the essence. But a lot of times when we think about SMEs and we say, go out there, start your business, we know the stats. 3 out of every 4 businesses fail. So we are looking at IoT and saying, how do we get IoT to cross that chasm? How do you get from early adopters into an early majority so that you can create a sustainable business, but not one that breaks your back? Fortunately for us and for entrepreneurs, that technology is available, that technology is here, and really that's going to be my talk, how to be more sensitive.
how to be more sensitive. I can't wait. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us here at AfricaCom, the Managing Director of Sqwidnet, Phathizwe Malinga.